What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Sterling's World, taking your questions and getting them answered by locals from around the world. We are still talking about the coronavirus, and today we're talking to Germany. Brief little update: America has just broken 1 million confirmed cases. Germany, about 180,000 new cases. Good news though, these numbers are going down. The daily rate is decreasing for America. We're about 20,000 now, which our peak was around 36,000. So good job, America. Stay inside, people from Huntington. Okay. Germany's also going down. That's awesome. They're actually starting to implement some really cool things. So go ahead, check out the description section below. I've summarized for you what we're going to be talking about so you don't miss anything. Also, you can fast forward to jump around whatever piece you want to check out. And also, don't forget to leave your questions. If you guys want to ask India some questions, Japan, anywhere, go ahead, post your comments in the section below. Post your questions in the comments section below, and I'll make sure to get them answered for you. So Germany's got some cool things going on, though, really. They got some app on their phone that they're tracking the coronavirus. They've also started loosening up regulations so people can start to get back to work. Some schools are going back into session, taking a burden off of the parents for having to homeschool, stuff like that. Super cool things. They still got to wear their masks though. They're all sticking to the rules. So go ahead, look in the description section again. Don't forget to subscribe, set up the notification. Don't miss another World Corona Chronicle. Enjoy this video. Stay safe, do your part. Spread love, spread joy, spread happiness, all that good stuff. We are in this together. This is Charlotte Sachs. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, you travel person?
Yeah, sure. Well, I do live in Munich since a while, but keep traveling a lot. So before was traveling for work quite a bit. I was also 2 years ago doing a sabbatical and traveling Southeast Asia and South America, Colombia especially as well. And yeah, and now I'm actually working remotely in the kind of IT industry, but only since a couple of weeks. So yeah, and before I was working as a freelancer, and that would make it easy as well to travel just and work remote from Bali or somewhere else. Um, yeah, I recently turned 30. Maybe that's something you want to know.
Happy birthday. I sent you that message. Did you
You
like that
said that.
message?
You said that before. Yeah, and I'm also sitting on the roof of my apartment, so maybe later on I can give a better view of the.
Yeah, take us on a tour afterwards and show us the view.
Sure, will do.
Are there many people driving around still or no?
Driving around like car? You mean in cars or
Yeah,
like? Yeah, during the weekdays there's quite some traffic still, but it's obviously way less. And during the weekends, it's basically kind of like no cars.
right.
Maybe going like direction south to go to the lakes, but not that much, I think. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, what happened with how long ago did the coronavirus regulations and all that stuff start, where people couldn't really do anything?
So I can tell you the first thing which stopped me from doing something, which was beginning of March. We were supposed to go to Israel and celebrate my friend's 30th, and Israel was one of the first countries closing the borders, and that was one day before we actually were supposed to land there for a long weekend. So that was first first impact, I'd say. And then I think borders closed March 15th for Germany. I mean, not all, but some of them. There were government support packages announced. And then from March 22nd, there was a kind of the contact restriction going on, not a full lockdown, but like you were only allowed to leave for grocery shopping, sports, or like taking care of your parents or whatever. And everything, I feel like in Munich, everyone is kind of sticking to it. They're taking it seriously, which they should. Everyone should. I mean, there are sunny days on the weekends where it's getting a little bit busier, in the English garden. But yeah, in general, I'd say that people kind of like stuck to what they're supposed to. still Germans, right? So they like rules also.
I was
Not
gonna
I
say,
myself in that, but
it's a bit, I think it's a bit different than the States. We're like, I feel Americans are a bit like rebellious in a way when someone says, when our president says to do something, we're like, nah, whatever. But in
I
Germany, it's very
mean,
strict.
yeah. Right. I mean, yeah, that's a disadvantage you guys have for sure. But here, I mean, there are kind of two sides. There's obviously the side who is kind of like, posting on social media all the time how they are very behaving, staying at home and stuff. But then I don't like the fact like pointing the fingers to others, because in the end you don't really know who are they with or whatever. It's behind their reason. Obviously not if it's kind of a big party or something you really shouldn't do. But yeah, so there's that side. I'm really trying to be very aligned with the rules. And then there's some, I mean, they obviously don't post about it or stuff. But I feel it's important, I mean, just to like look for yourself and not kind of point your finger too much and criticize. Doesn't help, I think.
Yeah, we could point our fingers at whoever we want, right? But at the end of the day, we're all in this together and we need to kind of stick
Yeah,
together.
I think everyone is also doing things that sometimes we should maybe kind of avoid completely, but we obviously can't if we go to work or whatever.
How are they, how's everyone handling it now? Like, is it kind of restless? Are people getting fed up with it and wanting to get out and do something?
I mean, we had some loosening of the regulations this Monday, actually, which was to meet other people if it's just one person, but from outside your household. So that was already cool. So you actually can go to the English garden for a walk and meet like a random friend now, which you weren't allowed to before. So I think everyone is a little bit excited. Next Monday, there are stores opening again, like up to 800 square meters retail. So everyone is excited for like little steps
Right.
reopening. Travel is, I think, limited till May 4th. And then afterwards, I think everyone's hoping for some limit, like loosening of at least traveling inside Germany. But I
And,
think that it's going
and
to happen.
restaurants and stuff are still closed, right?
Still close, but I think almost everyone now, it started slowly, has to go stuff. So
Yeah.
they were in the beginning, there were like two. Luckily, one included my favorite spot. Every day, and now there almost everyone has something to go, and everyone's supporting that, and yeah, it's cool to see.
So they're also slowly opening restaurants.
I mean, not to stay. You're not allowed to sit outside, for
Oh,
example.
just to buy food and take it to go.
Yeah.
And they had
And
like Uber Eats and all that stuff running, right? The whole time.
yeah, they have like a Lieferando, which is the delivery service, and Amazon, of course, is booming. So yeah, that
Super
is
cool.
still going on. But
So
I
what
think everyone is cooking more. Like everyone, at least on social media, is like crazy. We're all going to be chefs after this.
what were you doing for your quarantine? Were you cooking a lot as well?
Yeah, I did kind of with a friend. So we were kind of a household, like almost
Nice.
like shared living. But so we did some cooking on my own. I'm usually not that motivated. But I did work a lot in April, so it didn't really make much of a difference. I had to cancel 2 business trips, but besides, I would have stayed around. The weather was awesome, which I was so happy about all April. So basically doing yoga in the sun, going for a run. I tried that every day for a while before work, which was amazing, just to be outside for an hour. And what else? Yeah, that's basically it. Rooftop, English garden, sports, healthy food, and work. So
Nice. The
yeah,
essential stuff. That's good. And did
but not like
you
crazy, like like some are like very disciplined in their new routine or something. So this is obviously kind of a chill plan, but yeah.
when you left the house to do some exercising and stuff, did you have to stay within a certain distance of the house or could you go for a good run or
Actually, there wasn't a certain limit. No one ever stopped me, so I don't know if I was allowed to do that. But I think so. I mean, if you go to the other side of the city and the police would ask, "Hey, what are you doing there?" Obviously, that would be weird, and you might have like gotten a fee, which is like $150 or something at the minimum. But yeah, you're allowed to do that, and I don't think they are that strict on distance.
Nice.
You can always be a fast runner, right? So
I was gonna say maybe it's no one stopped you because they couldn't catch you.
right.
What have you heard anything from, you have some friends that are doctors, yeah? Have you heard anything from them as far as testing goes, how they're approaching testing?
Well, testing is still kind of like a mystery as well. I don't actually know the current numbers they're testing now per week. I heard something like up to 500,000 are available. They do have, or they did transform like 300 laboratories into fast testing centers. Then Bosch did develop this antibody test within 2.5 hours. You'll have the result. So there's a lot of like research going on and things are happening, but actually no one knows when, how many, and what exactly will happen.
Right.
They will, for example, in Bavaria, they are planning to test like a representative group of 3,000 people. That is supposed to start end of April, which is now. There are no news about it, but that's going to happen most likely. And then they're trying the digital tracing app. They're developing the software now. That's going to be decentralized, so only on your phone you're able to, so your data doesn't go outside. So that should hopefully work somehow. And then as the antibody tests, there's this CuraVac center in Tübingen, which is very close to my hometown. They are pretty confident with vaccine until fall, I think. But yeah, you know, that usually takes longer. So
Yeah, who knows with the vaccine.
right.
Are you gonna get the, you think you might have had it, are you gonna get the antibody test, or do you have to meet a special criteria to get the test?
Yeah, normally you have to have a contact person who was in a certain area where you were like clearly, you know, in Italy for skiing or something, where like, or Austria. So I wasn't actually allowed to get one. A friend of mine had a colleague who was tested positively, and then she showed some symptoms, mild ones, and then I also showed like super mild symptoms. And given the fact how easily it spread, I'm pretty sure that it kind of like got in contact. Maybe it was just a little bit, or, and as you don't know if you can get it again, I mean, I'm still careful, but it would make sense. And it was luckily super mild. I just felt like exhausted for a week. I was sleeping a lot more, and yeah, but still doing sports, and had like maybe super mild like shiverings, not much more. So
And yeah, it's pretty interesting, this whole like, can you get it again kind of thing. Everything
yeah,
we know about viruses, they say you won't be able to get it again, at least until your antibody count goes down, which is maybe from the studies on the first SARS, it was within, I think, the third year is when you started to lose your so-called immunity.
right. So now it's like
Yeah.
6 months to 18, something like that, right? That's what they're thinking.
Yeah, they think, well, they, if it's anything like the SARS one, I mean, it's 2 years that you should be relatively immune to it. Maybe nearing the second year. I mean, it's not, you know, antibody stuff doesn't happen like scheduled. It's not like exactly 2 years it goes down, but somewhere near the 2 year mark, it'll start to go down, at least from the first SARS. But this is the novel one, right? It's the new one, so we're
Yeah.
still not sure. So
Right.
they're approaching testing in this way, and Bosch made this antibody test. So hopefully there's a lot of these going around now, because I think at the beginning it was like they didn't have the test, so they weren't testing. And what's your opinion on this actually? Because now that tests are going to be out there and there's going to be more of them, we're
Yeah.
probably going to see like an increase in cases. right? Because more people are going to be able to get tested. For example,
Yeah,
you didn't
right,
get tested because they didn't
right.
they didn't say you met the criteria, so they didn't test you. But now they might feel free to, we have the test, so we might as well test anyone that thinks that they have it.
Yeah, exactly. I think they have to do like I think 1,000 tests a day to kind of have a representative value. But yeah, obviously the unknown number is super high, so I don't think it really makes such a difference. But the number will be much higher anyways, right? So
Yeah.
and then for the antibody tests, they're super skeptical about. They're not very reliable yet. That's what I read
Yeah.
or heard from the doctors. So that is something, yeah, where you can easily go like wrong or yeah. So.
Yeah, it'd be really bad, wouldn't it, to say, "Hey, Charlotte, you have the antibodies, you're good. Go for a run, go hang out with people infected," and then really it was wrong, and then you get it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to kind of like keep, or that's what I think Germany is going to do, keep certain age groups still a little bit more isolated. Now they're opening schools again in 2 weeks for like, I think like 9 to 10 graders. So like little bit, but small steps at one time. Yeah, something like hairdressers open again, and like I said, retailer. Yeah.
Yeah, we all gotta keep looking good with our haircuts, right?
Yeah, that's not so far though. My hair is really long, so
I was gonna say, I haven't seen
really
your hair
love
this long in forever. It's been
I know,
ages since I've
love
seen your
your
hair that long.
hair. Yeah.
um, when stuff gets open, is this something you've heard? Like they're gonna start letting specific age groups out of the house. You
Um,
know, 15 to 20-year-olds can get out, and then like 20 to 30, and then the last group will obviously be like 70 to 100-year-olds or whatever.
yeah, no, not yet. That's not out there. So they didn't say anything about that. The only thing is you will have to wear masks from Monday on if you go to a shop or grocery shopping,
Hmm.
a zoo, something like that. So it's like yeah, you have to wear a mask. That's new.
And they still want you to keep your distance and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And are these just suggestions, or are they rules? You
No,
can't
no,
break
they're
them.
rules.
They're
Yeah.
rules. If you leave the house without a mask, you're gonna get a ticket.
If you're in a grocery shop, yeah,
Or
without
if you run really fast, you won't get a ticket.
if I don't run in a grocery store, maybe.
Oh, but walking on the street, you don't need to have the mask.
So just on like
Okay,
public places,
right.
inside, yeah.
And have your hospitals? How are your hospitals doing? Are they overran? Are they?
I think they're okay. So my cousin is a doctor. He works in a hospital in Berlin. They don't have more, like they just have normal work situation, I guess. They are prepared, but they were prepared already since weeks. So the hospitals were, yeah, I think in a good state to handle the situation there. I think they increased the hospital the beds up to 40,000, which is quite a high number, and I think they're at 60% capacity right now. And
What do you
so
think
far the
it?
strategy, yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. Do you think it'll stay like that? I mean, now that regulations are getting lifted and everyone's going to be able to kind of walk
Yeah,
around again.
yeah, I think that depends. They're looking at the three numbers, like this, the reproductive rate, which is 0.7, so that their goal is to have this under 1. And I think as soon as they loosen some regulations and that gets higher, they will just put the lockdown on again. I think that's what they're going to do. But and also trying to watch a little bit, test more. Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, this is interesting. If you, I'll attach in the comment section below, or I'll put it up here as a link right now. There was the study done on the 1918 Spanish flu outbreak when they had the regulations set up, like the quarantine was really strict, and then they just loosened quarantine completely and said go out and have fun, whatever. And the numbers went like, it was a small peak for the first peak, and then it went down into a little trough, and then they let everyone go, and the numbers shot up ridiculously high.
Yeah.
And that's when they had another outbreak, like the hospitals were overran again and stuff like that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
hope it doesn't happen like that again. I know China's starting to get some cases as well again,
Mm.
from
Yeah.
letting their population walk around. I guess I missed. So I had an assumption last week about Sweden, and they had very loose restrictions the whole time. They just told their people to wear masks, keep social distancing. And from what I understood about it, and I'll research more and I'll put it in the description as well, what I understood was they were doing really good. But then recently, in the last week or so, they had an increase in deaths and stuff like that going on there. So I'm going to read a little bit more about that and put that in the description as well. But that was really because they're a lot like German people, right? Like very, hey, government says don't do this, you don't do it. They're pretty strict and they're pretty respectful of their government issue.
Right. But I guess when it comes to herd immunity, like they kind of tried, it would mean that, for example, in Germany, 50 million people would have had to have to get it, and that would take like one like nearly 2 years. So that's something which is it was discussed early, but kind of it's not an option
Yeah.
anymore. But partly, so they try to take different parts of the strategies like suppression, and then see how it goes. But I think no one really has a clue worldwide, so we're
Yeah.
not alone. Yeah.
It's so new. It's like something, yeah. It's something out of a scary movie, to be honest. Like I don't want to say it's like zombies, but I
And
mean
just
it feels like
ridiculous
that.
news you read if you like randomly check your phone, like something crazy happens again. It's like so weird.
Yeah, everything is about this is kind of crazy. But
Yeah,
really,
but
like you get scared to like come in contact with people. I was walking the other day and I was like, I jumped off the curb and walked in the street to avoid people. It was
yeah,
very, it's like I seriously feel like it's some zombie apocalypse outbreak movie.
yeah. And I mean, some people I think can't really cope that well with it. Um, a lot hopefully can. So I think it's also a good time to just like focus on yourself, like grounding a little bit and
Right.
consume less. I think travel even less. I hate to say that, but I it's good. So yeah, I think it's also a chance to kind of change some stuff.
I can tell on your mind is still travel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit. I mean, yeah, I'm hoping we'll do some Germany road trips this summer, I guess. So there are a couple of places we have the ocean, the north, right? So
Yeah.
going to Berlin when I can. So
The ocean in the north, the freezing ocean.
yeah, might still be freezing. I'd rather be in San Diego or California, any place, but
Yeah.
no, maybe not.
Speaking of that, like I know the German people and a lot of Europeans are very strict with their rules and they believe their government and they follow the rules and stuff like that. What do you think about us, the Americans? What do you think? How do you feel about us protesting in the streets and running around and coughing on people saying that it's not contagious and this is all a hoax and this is all, it's all something that the government made up to. I don't even know their reasoning. It's just another conspiracy theory. But what kind of impression does that leave on the German people?
On the German people or on the American people.
Well, what kind of
So
impression
what we think about the
yeah,
American.
what kind of impression do the Germans have about the American people doing this kind of stuff?
I mean, I think, yeah, I think we think that you're lost somehow, but obviously you are with like a government like that. Yeah, I think that's kind of the problem, like just top down, and obviously dangerous, like from some stuff you hear. Yeah, I don't know, bit scary probably. Still there are a lot of voices pro and against, so there are a lot of people also saying that it's way too much of a story and it's a real panic virus more than it actually is given the numbers. For example, comparing normal influenza in 17 to now, like the amount of people died there were like 25,000 and now we're at like 6. So yeah, I think strong opinions about both sides, but
Yeah.
obviously you have to be careful about it and not just do
Yeah,
things.
and we talked about it a bit. Like these numbers they're not necessarily true.
Exactly.
A lot of my friend in Italy said the same thing. He's like, yeah, the numbers might be lower, but they're picking people up at their houses dead. Like it's really shocking. And they're obviously not, we limited on testing. So why would they test a person that's already passed away?
Yeah.
I
Well,
have
this
this.
is
I asked I had asked this question actually to Ben Beiersdorf, one of my best friends from Germany, and he was a little bit more outspoken about it than you were, and I think you were being still kind of
in which
caught.
way
I feel like you're
chaotic
still
it
being
is,
kind of
or
cautious about your words, but he was a little bit more outspoken when it came to what they what he was feeling about our presidential situation, as well as our people marching in the street, because he made the correlation, and he made the right correlation. I feel like a lot of the people that were in the streets, like marching and protesting and stuff, they it was almost like a pro-Trump rally out there. They were marching in the street, freedom this, freedom that, but also wearing Trump hats and these kinds of things. And
yeah,
he was making the correlation between the two, like why are these people also the ones that are supporting Trump, and
yeah,
is Trump influencing these people to do that,
yeah. I'm sure he does.
for maybe the new election coming up.
For sure, he does use that to the max. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not stupid of him, obviously. But yeah, it's dangerous, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. What do you think about him and his injection speech, injecting yourself with Lysol?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just yesterday read the news that in Illinois they have like a higher number on emergency calls because of people doing that. So yeah, that's really concerning, and yeah, it's just a dangerous situation to have him in place right now.
I can't
Always.
believe we have to say that. Like, don't inject yourself with bleach. Like,
Yeah, I saw your post on that.
yeah, my Twitter post. Yeah, don't inject yourself with bleach. Do not drink bleach or inject yourself with Lysol, or drink hand sanitizer. I had this conversation with my brother Mike. He's a virologist. It was one of the
I
first.
think I saw that one first
Yeah,
episode.
did you hear what he said about Iran and the people in Iran?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
They did the same thing. It was almost like a cult ritual. Like they all got together. Like 400 people were hospitalized for drinking like a 50% bleach solution.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Come
Yeah.
on, guys. Like I'll give you a little basic chemistry. If you mix perchlorate, which is hydrogen peroxide, if you mix a chlorine with an acid, like your stomach acid, you're gonna get chlorine gas, which is not good.
Not good.
It's what they used during the Holocaust to
Okay,
kill
let's
people.
not
So
talk about that.
oh yeah, sorry.
With
Germany, sorry, my bad.
massive thing.
It's done with. Come on, the Germans are not like this. That's a myth.
Yeah.
Um, so what's for you, Charlotte? What's a day in the life like? You said you wake up, exercise, run, do that whole thing. What's your schedule like?
Yeah, exactly. So I try to go for a run just so to wake up early and be outside actually at least once a day. And then I usually start working on my balcony or inside. Luckily with the weather, that's cool. And then yeah, I'm not really good in having a proper lunch break like I used to have in office times. But yeah, so afterwards I normally do like a sunset yoga session on the roof, and I'm super lucky because I have like a very wide view, which is cool, so you don't feel trapped. I think I would have felt differently if I would just be stuck in my apartment without a terrace maybe. So yeah, I know that I'm very quite lucky being trapped here. um, Still I miss kind of going out obviously and seeing more friends, and but during weekdays it's absolutely fine. It's healthy. And yeah, I mean not forever, but a little longer should work.
Yeah, and it's good to get on a little schedule, isn't it?
It is, yeah, definitely helps to balance.
Um, Now that your company's kind of gone remote, do you think that you guys, and do you think most of Germany might try to stay remote? Or do you guys really focus on like collaborative work and working together, or do you think that your country might stick to staying remote?
I think a lot of companies will generally be more open about it. Not many have been so far, so that's something I think every industry or company will see a difference from before. And yeah, but I think people do enjoy more now having actually the possibility to go again to their office and reconnect. So I think it's not going to be like gone, but probably less. They might use more like flexible solutions like WeWork. That's what some do already, and just in general save some costs probably when everything is back to normal
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning. But I don't think that's going to be for all. Maybe some will do that, but not everyone, I guess.
Yeah, it's good to kind of have the structure now. You could, if this kind of thing happens again,
Exactly.
because
Yeah,
as we talked about, when it does open up again, there might be
right.
another
Yeah, exactly. So everyone will be prepared. And
better prepared.
I mean,
Yeah.
what doesn't work is very well is obviously with school. So yeah, that's something education. I think that's important just to be back to normal again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Not everyone's cut out for homeschooling.
exactly. Yeah. Also, not all of the parents probably.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
um. So what kind of weird are you're living with someone at the moment?
No, I have a very good friend of mine. We're kind of a household because we just like hang out during the lockdown all the time.
Okay.
So yeah, not meeting others.
What kind of weird things are you learning about your friend? Because I'm sure you're spending a lot more time now together than you have in the past.
Yeah, we had already actually, but yeah, we both or actually she's been cooking much more, which is cool. So that's one of the changes. We were drawing the other night for the sunset here on the roof. So that's something yeah, we usually don't do. Um, Stuff like going for a walk, usually don't like it that much. I rather prefer sports or hang out, but that's something we obviously started doing like everyone
Mhm.
else. And I also feel like everyone is going for a run now. You see so many people, like old, young families together working out, which is cool. Everyone's on a bike again. So yeah,
That's great though. That's so
everyone's
nice.
moving around. Yeah, families together. Uh, Father son workouts. Cool.
I love that. I love that everyone's getting up and doing something.
Yeah, is it
It,
the same over there?
yes and no.
I mean,
Yeah, where I am, no, because I'm in the east side of LA, so there's not much going on. But if you go back down to Santa Monica and stuff, it was quite funny actually. They locked the beaches, or they put a lockdown on the beaches about 2.5 or 3 weeks ago, or 2.5 weeks ago. They put this lockdown on, and like the day of lockdown, the beach was packed. Like so many people running and exercising on the beach. It was that's what I mean. Like that's kind of the kind of thing that happens here is like they suggest something. They should suggest lockdown. Don't go here. Don't go there. And I don't know why, but that influences people to do more of it. I really don't
like
understand
buying
it.
paper and stuff. Yeah, same principle, right?
Yeah, it's like don't do it. Okay, I'm gonna go do it. And don't
Yeah.
smoke weed. I'm gonna go smoke weed. It's like it's what happened. It's just what we do. I think it's built into our culture. But yeah, it's better now. Down at the beaches, people are running, people are exercising. Obviously, when they're on the boardwalk, because you've been to San Diego, they got the little strip of concrete that you can walk on, whether you're not on the beach. But that's usually pretty packed down there at the at Venice and the boardwalk of Santa Monica. It's pretty packed still. I think it's tighter regulations. There are police telling you, hey guys, come on, move along. Don't hang out here. If you're sitting in a group of like 4 or 5 and you're smoking a cigarette and just doing nothing, a lot of times they'll tell you to move on.
Yeah.
But it's not enforced to the point of like getting a ticket for doing something, you know,
Yeah.
that is against the suggestion.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Easy. Mm.
Is everyone kind of coming together there? We're working out together here sometimes, but are more people being receptive to talking?
Mhm.
I'll give you an example. Like my friend
Like online
Hamza,
workouts.
huh?
Like online workouts, you mean? Like,
Like
or
online workouts, but even for business,
like
right? So
live?
you're doing
Yeah.
marketing. So like my friend he does sales for Slim Pay, and he said like it's really crazy because the dynamics of work kind of changed. You used to send a LinkedIn message and nobody would reply, but now you send a LinkedIn message and he feels like more people are responsive, more people are kind of wanting this interaction and craving, even if their answer is going to be no. They say,
Yeah.
"Hey, thank you for messaging. How are you? Stay safe." You know, this whole like stay safe at the end, hashtag, hashtag.
Yeah, that's true. I think also at first, like in business, if you don't really talk to or see many other people in your usual daily life, then obviously you tend to talk more if you're on the phone with some stranger, just, talking random stuff, I guess. And then, yeah, so I think that's just a general happening, but also cool. Like, I feel like a lot of old friends, like, been reaching out or from the different sides of the world are kind of more talking or updating or commenting, and then they're like, hey, how are you over there in India or in California or wherever. So what you're actually also doing, which is quite, so yeah, I think that's something that everyone getting closer together is important.
A girlfriend of mine said that there's a lot more guys coming out of the woodworks, like messaging, "Hey, what's up? How are you?" Like old hookups and stuff. Is that happening to you?
Where are you getting at? I was going, where's that? What's that? Maybe kind of. Obviously, not really happening much because it's technically not allowed to. But
Technically.
texting is obviously prohibited.
Texting, yeah. Um, so yeah, I guess it's very interesting to see everyone coming together. I would assume it's nice to hear that Germany's putting together this app, that kind of people can say they've been sick. Actually, do you know how that works? Are people just saying I've been tested, or is this like a database they're having to build with actual proof that you've been tested, kind of thing, or is this just
I think
left to the people?
I think it collects the data. So if you get tested, you would obviously update your kind of app, and then if you and then the device is kind of like interact, and then if you have someone around like walking by who was just been tested, then you would get a signal by like realize like by the IP address basically, but it's decentralized, so it's just on your phone and not like collected somewhere external, which like would mean collect data from everyone. So yeah, that's I think the better approach to it. Not sure how efficient though, but better than nothing.
Yeah, it's good
And it was
someone's doing that.
successful in some areas already, right?
I hope they do that as well with this antibody test. Like if you get tested, you can update, say, "Yep, it came back
Yeah,
positive."
exactly. Exactly. I think that's what they're trying to do.
And do they have programs? Do they have some social programs there to help? For example, you can go grocery shopping for an elderly.
Hmm.
You can help people. Are they putting together programs like that as well?
They do have that as well. There are a lot of like social um, stuff going on social media as well, but also kind of like from church, like Caritas or what else? Yeah, there are like platforms where you can support if yeah elderly people shopping or anything like that. There, I think like kind of hotlines for domestic violence, stuff like that. I think that's something it's not been talked about as much as it should. Um, yeah, so there's stuff there, but I'm not sure if it reaches everyone. But yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think's more likely going to happen? Do you think that there's more likely going to be a like a baby boomers of the corona, like the coronials, my friend said, the corona boomers. Do you think that's going to happen, or do you think that it's kind of maybe bad to talk about, but do you think
The rate
or do you
getting
think the divorce rate's going to
rather
go
than I don't know actually, but I guess both. So we'll see a kind of like a peak of both if that's possible.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
yeah, for sure there will be a higher divorce rate, and that was the case in China. Uh, so yeah,
I like that. I like that for sure. There's going to be a higher divorce rate. I like that. Yeah, it's going to be one. I think it's going to be a little of both. You're right.
exactly.
I think people are going to come out of this much closer together, and then there's going to be people that are obviously going to be
Yeah,
separated at the end of this.
yeah. Hopefully everyone is appreciating everything a little more. I mean, we could be in all of us in much worse situations. So
True. Yeah.
in that we appreciate like meeting friends and actually spending time because you can, and so that's, I think, a positive effect, hopefully.
Yeah. It's kind of it's why I also I'm doing this, to show that everyone should stick together, you know?
Yeah.
I miss my friends really, and I miss traveling, and I miss hanging out with you, and going through Colombia and being on the rooftop and having barbecues and taking cool sunset pictures, and
Going to Oktoberfest, obviously.
yeah,
Yeah,
eating. Not even like Oktoberfest was whatever. I didn't really like it as much because I didn't get to go with you very often. But
you
like,
did have fun there too.
Indian food and stuff, that was always good. I love that stuff. Getting my
Yeah,
new skateboard, all that good stuff.
yeah, Munich was fun.
Yeah. So I miss all that stuff, and I think like yeah, maybe it helps people bring people together in times like this. Really show the importance of interactions and personal connections. You're a traveler, so you know this probably better than most. Is once you meet someone, and staying connected is quite hard actually, especially once, if you're only with them for a week and then you leave. But like, it's very important to nurture those relationships, and to try to build a good community of people around you that you can connect with and talk to, and not lose those.
Yeah, and hopefully visit soon again somewhere.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
San Diego, you're always welcome. California, LA,
yeah.
you know that.
Next year if I'm going to Arizona.
Now that everyone can be remote and work online, hell yeah, let's do it.
I'll come for sure.
Do you have a message for anyone? Maybe all these people running around protesting in the States? No, I'm just kidding. But do you have any message for people as far as the coronavirus goes?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I think, like I've said before, it's a good time to actually look at yourself, ground, consume less, focus more, and maybe meditate, do sports, be healthy, and you will see who your like real close friends are. You don't need to be on the road all the time. You can also, if you appreciate like little things, you can also be super happy with being a bit limited, obviously not forever, but for a while. So,
Yeah.
and then everyone's going to appreciate traveling and parties again at some point. So, yeah.
So when you did your birthday party, was it only a few people?
Yeah, so it was like a kind of like one by one. So I met actually only like 2, 3 people. They stopped by, obviously outside only here on the roof
Hmm.
with distance, but then we were like just, yeah, max 3 persons, which is allowed. Um, so yeah, and I was just day drinking all the time, so it was fine. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
cool.
don't. This is wrong. This is not true. But day drinking helps with the coronavirus.
It's certainly not bad. I guess.
Don't go out and drink Lysol or day drink thinking it's good for you. Okay. Make sure that's clear,
No, that was a
everybody.
question for the 30,
Do
obviously.
not do not do that
Only if you're turning 30 or something like
with
that.
the alcohol, but still no Lysol, please.
Oh, no, no, no.
Well, cool. Thank you so much. This is really nice.
Cool. It was cool to catch up, and
Yeah.
cool stuff.
Yeah.
For sure, we'll have some more stuff to talk about
Uh-huh.
for a while.
For
Yeah.
sure. Hope you enjoyed that. If this is your first time here, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, set up the notifications so you don't miss a World Corona Chronicle.